So I have the privilege here of speaking with our broker, Dylan Nonaka. We are the agency team Hawaii that's brokered by EXP. So Dylan, if you can share with me, first of all, why is EXP so different than other brokerages that you've experienced?
Yeah, this is an important thing to understand is that a lot of times, people that have been in the real estate industry are familiar with it. All brokerages are pretty much the same, right? The brands are different, the colors are different, but for the most part, the business model, which is the most important thing that an agent should really look at, is pretty much the same, and it has been for the last 100 years, right? You basically go to a brokerage, you negotiate a split, and then you do business. And as time goes on, if you do more business, your broker may give you a better split, and you get to keep more of your commissions. And that's pretty much the way that the industry has been for since its inception, pretty much. And the agent has never had the ability to really benefit from the equity of the company or the long-term success of a company. And that's really the thing that EXP has changed, is that now you have the ability to, as a realtor, not only make money from the commissions that you generate, but also from the equity in the company. And in addition to that, you also get to benefit from helping to grow the company by bringing other agents in. You get a piece of the revenue that they bring in. So there's a lot of specifics that go into all of that, but that's the biggest game changer that has changed the way that agents are compensated, and really the reason why so many people are flocking to EXP on a daily basis. Really, it's crazy. When we joined the company, there was 18,000 agents, and today there's over 83,000 in just 3 short years. So the growth has been extraordinary.
Got it. And share with us, how did you hear about EXP Realty?
Yeah, so I kind of have a funny story where I was at a brokerage, a franchise brokerage called Coldwell Banker, and my parents had been there for many years, and I had no reason ever to leave. We were happy, we didn't own the office, but we pretty much ran it. And as fate would have it, the office was bought by another franchise, and I just didn't feel like it was the new owners were the right fit for what I wanted to do. And so I started to look around, and I would have never looked at that not happen. So it was a blessing that happened, and it gave me the opportunity to explore, because I was happy, I was comfortable. That's how most agents are. They're just in a spot that they're okay, they're gliding along. And I probably would have stayed there forever if that hadn't have happened. And when I started exploring other brokerages and potentially opening a brokerage of my own, when I got my broker's license around the same time, I stumbled upon EXP looking at actually Keller Williams. I was looking at that model, and it was a little bit different than the traditional brokerage model. And I had seen that there were many agents that I had followed on social media or that I was watching on YouTube, these mega agents who had built huge businesses, and they were leaving other brokerages to go to EXP. And I thought, I like to follow smart people and do what smart people are doing. And if they see something that I'm not seeing, I better look into it. And that's how I discovered it, was looking at what other people around the country were doing.
That's so awesome. So through your discovery, you have those 3 questions that you ask yourself, and now we ask others. What are those 3 questions when searching and trying to find the right brokerage for you? Share with us what those are.
Yeah, so a lot of times, if you're a new agent, but even experienced agents, the weird thing about real estate is when you go into a brokerage and look to sign up, you think it's like a job interview, right? Like you're going to get interviewed, but really it's the other way around. You should be interviewing the brokerage and seeing what kind of benefits they're going to give you, because you're an independent contractor. You're not an employee of the company. And a lot of times we have these discussions all the time with newer agents. They don't even know what to ask, right? So our 3 questions that are very important that an agent asks their broker or their brokerage before they join is, first, the splits are very important, right? That's the industry kind of norm question, is what is my split going to be? And one of the things that really drew me to EXP was not only is the split very favorable, it's standardized. So I never liked the fact that in a traditional office, you go in and you negotiate a split with your broker, which implies that you're not on the same page, right? It implies that you're not on the same side, because if you got to negotiate something, you don't negotiate something with somebody that you're on the same team with. And so that relationship starts off at a point of contention where you got to negotiate. And you never know what everybody else is getting, right? You never know what the other people in your office are getting. It's kind of like you cannot talk about it. It's like a secret, and there's no transparency, and it doesn't create a culture of openness and transparency, because it's like, I don't know what your split is. You cannot know what my split is. It's kind of a weird thing. And with EXP, it's standardized across the board. Everybody's on an 80-20 split. And then we have a $16,000 cap. So when that 20,000 that you give to the brokerage becomes 16,000, you go to 100% for the rest of your anniversary year, and everybody has an equal opportunity to benefit from the commission split. And it doesn't matter if you come into the brokerage doing 20 million a year or doing 2 million a year, everybody gets the same deal. And it creates, it's a foundation of the culture of transparency where there's no special treatment or special deals, from agent to agent.
Right. That's awesome.
So that's the first thing. So the second thing is when can I get ownership in the company, right? And most brokers will laugh at you because the answer is never. It's never going to happen unless you make enough money to go buy a $250,000 franchise fee. But you're going to have to move markets because with a franchise, they have a territory, right? The franchise owns a territory, so you cannot expand into their territory. So you're going to have to go somewhere else outside of the territory that brokerage owns. And so it's the barrier to entry for a normal person to become an owner in a real estate business is very high. It's hard to do traditionally. And it's a complete opposite with EXP. With EXP, every single broker, every single agent is an owner from the day that they make their first sale. So when you make your first sale with the company, you get awarded stock. When you cap, you get awarded stock. If you bring someone into the company that makes their first sale, you get awarded stock. So these are just awards that the company gives you for being productive and contributing to the growth of the company. And then you also have the opportunity to invest in the company. It's kind of like a retirement plan where you can dedicate 5% of your commissions to buy stock at a 10% discount. So the way that works is they take the average price of the stock for a month, whatever commissions you collected, they withhold 5%, and then they buy whatever dollar amount that is worth of stock, and you get a 10% discount. So you get equity right off the bat. So whatever the stock is, you get a 10% discount. And that's really cool because in most cases and most big brokerages, you're paying a franchise fee of 5, 6, 7% to the corporate franchise, which you get no benefit from, right? You're just paying the corporate and regional owners that money. That's how they make money. And now you can invest that money in yourself. There is no franchise fee with EXP, so you can be invested in your future, your family's future. And if you believe the company will continue to grow and the stock will become more valuable, it's a pretty smart investment, investing in yourself. And now you have ownership. And that's one of the things that contributes to the culture of the company too, is that every single agent in the company is an owner. So we want to all see the company survive and thrive, where in a traditional brokerage, you're just an independent contractor. You can go from company to company to company. You have no interest in the long-term success of the company. And it just changes the overall vibe and culture of that company. So that's a cool thing that definitely contributes to that culture of collaboration and shared success is the stock ownership that everyone has. And then if you're a top producer, this is an amazing benefit is if you're a top producer in the company, we call it the Icon Award, you have to cap and then sell 20 more properties. And some details that go into that, but you basically get a $16,000 stock award back if you do that. So in most companies, you get a certificate and a trophy, and it's worth nothing, right? You don't get anything of value for being a top producer. But in EXP, you get your $16,000 in stock back, your cap fee basically back in stock, which I saw a crazy stat the other day that if you got the Icon Award 5 years ago, it's worth over $450,000 today because the stock has grown in value so much. So it's not just that first initial $16,000. You're getting equity in a company that has quadrupled in value a couple of times in the last 5 years. So life-changing stuff, right? I mean, if you're talking, you dedicate 5 or 10 years and you're making these stock purchases, you could definitely set yourself up to just retire, in a relatively short amount of time. I mean, you don't have to do this for 25 years, really, if we continue to grow on the pace that we're growing. So that's number 2 is ownership, and then number 3 is revenue share. And revenue share is kind of the best way to think about it is it's a referral fee that the company gives you for bringing agents into the company. And so the way that works is when you bring an agent into the company, that $16,000 that goes to the company, the company dedicates 50% of that to go back to the agents who are growing the company. So they give the agents all the way 7 levels above them a small percentage of the agent's production, and it works out to between $2,800 and $3,200 a year, depending on what level you're on. But what that does is it gives you directly a benefit to not only help grow the company, but see the agents that you bring into the company succeed. You have a vested interest because you will financially benefit from that. And so that's why the company's been growing really fast. And it also gives every single agent, right? You don't have to be a broker, you don't have to be an owner, you don't have to be a franchise owner. Everybody can benefit from the growth of the company. And if you're going to be somebody who attracts other agents to the company's going to award you for that. And we've quickly seen agents all across the country who have done this and, bring in a significant number of agents. You don't have to even bring in a lot, because if you bring in a few and they bring in a few and they bring in a few, your
Right.
group grows exponentially, and it turns into a significant amount of passive income that can definitely provide you some financial stability. Myself personally, if I couldn't work for 6 months, I would still be able to pay all of my bills, my house, my living expenses, and it's really changed my life. And that's just in 3 years. And so every agent has the opportunity to do that. You don't have to be a team leader, you don't have to be a broker. Every single agent has the opportunity to do that. So revenue share is super cool. And if you ask your broker, when can I get a piece of the production of the agents I help bring to the company, they're also going to tell you never. It's not a thing that we do. I keep all the money as the broker. You don't get any of that back. And so you at the end of the day, the way to think about it is you're gonna sell real estate no matter what. You might as well get the maximum benefit out of doing that activity. And in most brokerages, you don't have the opportunity to do that. It just doesn't exist. And so you're really selling yourself short and leaving a lot of potential benefit on the table by not considering these other options of gaining equity and revenue share.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. If you can just do a quick recap once again. I have Dylan Nonaka here. He is our broker from the agency team Hawaii that's brokered by EXP Realty. What are those 3 important questions once again when searching for your brokerage that we should ask?
Yeah, the 3 questions are: 1, what is my split going to be and when can I cap? 2, when will you give me stock ownership in the company? And then 3, when will you share the revenue that the agents I bring into the company produce?
Beautiful. Well, I'm glad I followed you. As you said, you follow smart people, and I'm definitely following you. So I'm so grateful. So thank you, Dylan, so much for sharing with us.
You're welcome.